Okay, we are here in the stand of IPAS GmbH. We are here with Mr. Klaus Marian, one of the managers of the company of IPAS, and he will do us a short presentation on what this company does.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Mr. Erasmus, that you spent your time to visit IPAS here on the Light and Building 2018 in Frankfurt. And I'm very happy to welcome you here on our booth. This year we present a lot of new things. On the one hand side, we have very intelligent actuators, which are well prepared for small buildings and big buildings as well. Really powerful with inputs and outputs. On the other side, we focused on light control based on Dali, and the new data point type DT8 is in our focus, which is the next generation of color control. And I think we are well prepared to do this job in a very professional way. Because we are also offering visualization software in order to collect all the DALI information in the software. This is our system, Combat Studio Evolution, so that the user has all in his hand in order to control the building.
Great, great. So the products you are showing here, we will have a look at it more in detail now afterwards.
Yes.
And I'm sure you will have great success in this fair because it looks very promising.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
thank you. Okay, we are here now in one of the panels. Can you explain us what we have here?
Yes, of course. On this panel, we try to introduce our series actuators. Our actuators are, I think it's a very special solution because we provide actuators in different housing types. Now, this is a very small housing which is well prepared for the decentralized installation. On the other hand side, we have standard housings for the DIN rail installation in cabinets. All actuators have one thing on the same function. Every device type supports an intelligent application module, which allows the integrator to do a lot of things independent from inputs and outputs. For example, we can calculate run hours, time schedulers. We have a scene module inside, a logic module, which is usable independent from the in and outputs. And on the other side, the outputs are able to program as well as switching actuators or blind control actuators.
Oh, that's very interesting. So this is a C-load output, pure C-load outputs?
Yeah, you are right. We start with this series. We start with resistive outputs, and quickly we understood that it is absolutely necessary to have also C-load outputs. And this is the result. The housing is a little bit bigger because the relay contacts are bigger. And on this side, we provide devices with C-load and without C-load. Without C-load, then we are talking about blind actuators. All our DIN rail housings will have 16 ampere C-load with 140 microfarad.
Very good, very good. Okay, that looks very, very great. Very interesting. I see that you have also in the inputs the 2K7 resistor. Are they supervised inputs or?
Yeah, you are also right. This connection with a 2.7 kilo ohm resistor comes from the alarm technology. Now we want to control also the wiring to this contact. But we do more. We also combine this feature with normal switching functions. So this allows us to have two inputs or two potential free contacts on one input.
On the same input?
On the same input. At
wow.
least we have 12 instead of 6 inputs possible. No? That dropped down the costs, and this is maybe a good example to introduce this device as a very low-cost device with a high functionality. No? Because logic function, input function and output function are collected in one device.
Great, so 6 inputs, 6 outputs, but the 6 inputs can be even 12.
Yes.
Great, great, very interesting.
And maybe one point more, I will focus you to this device. This is our latest development. This is a fan coil unit with 8 outputs as well. And with this device, we hope that we are also arriving in the market for fan coil control. And with this solution, I think we are also well prepared to integrate it in our total control concept with switching actuators.
Okay, can you explain us what we have in this panel here?
Yes, of course. On this panel, we try to introduce our software solution, Combat Studio Evolution. IPAS is developing software since more than 20 years, so it's actually coming up with the beginning of IPAS. And we are focused on very huge projects where we have a lot of data points which we have to control. And here you see our latest development. Now, this is our Evolution server, and with this server you are able to connect several KNX Net IP interfaces in order to get access to KNX installation, lines or houses or whatever. And on the other hand side, we also provide interfaces to BACnet or to Modbus. And with these possibilities, we have the chance to have really a building management for commercial buildings or big office buildings or whatever. Because we have also some templates in order to collect data and present it in a very simple way. Now, for example, we have a smart metering module which is able to analyze the energy consumption so that the user can analyze his energy consumption in his house in order to drop down the energy cost or whatever. Now, this depends really on the focus of the end customer.
Yes, when I started with the company, my company Fujirasmus, in 2001, I was searching the internet for IP visualizations, and I came up with the Combridge Studio Suite back then it was called. It was for me one of the best visualization systems, and I started to work with that, and from that day on I only worked, or I like this solution the most. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, here we are in a very interesting panel. This is very nice design. Maybe you can say a couple of words about this panel.
Yes. The problem we have is that sometimes customers ask us what is KNX or what is a smart building. And this was the input for this wall. We try to realize a real situation in order to introduce the different functions, from simple light switching over to temperature control, and that it is visible what is possible in order to have really a smart building. It starts with standard power supply, which is absolutely necessary for KNX systems, and then it goes over to the switching panels in the standard format 8080 or in this individualized design. We have visualization controllers in order to make everything visible in the building. That is a very important point, to know exactly what happens in the building, and in order to establish automation functions like scene control, time schedulers, and so on and so on. And this is located in devices like this. This is our visualization controller HEC, and for big and huge projects we have a really professional solution, that is Combat Studio Evolution, which has a lot of professional function like user control and security aspects as well.
Great. This is more than for big buildings, but you can also use it for a nice house to do all the functions.
That's right.
And this one the same. You can use it for bigger buildings also, but it's more for the...
It depends a little bit from the integrator, what he has in the focus. Sometimes you have actually no network cabinet in the house, and then you have only a couple of functions, and in this case this is the solution. But if you will have a building management with Dali smart metering in order to analyze energy consumptions and so on, then Evolution is the best solution.
Perfect. So the Evolution can also be used in a house like this, for instance, perfectly.
That's the reason why it is on the wall. And Input for visualization systems. These are switching functions, of course, but on the other hand side, all the outputs from binary actuators. And here you see our series microbrick for the decentralized installation, and power block for the standard installation in cabinets. And a special focus we have, that is our Dali system. That is actually the perfect solution for color control, RGB, RGBW, and color temperature. These are the main topics for Dali.
Yes, Dali, you're definitely one of the reference companies in the world with KNX, Dali Control, and all the products look very, very promising, very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Yes, thanks to you. Okay, now we are in a very interesting panel here. I see this is some of the new features. Maybe you can present it to us, please.
Yes, the reason why we are standing here is that most of our customers are looking for a solution in order to see what happens in the building. And that means we want to visualize the activities in a smart building. And in the KNX it is quite simple. We receive events, and here in the visualization system we can manipulate events or we can see the results. And for example here, we are talking about the full graphical visualization. That means the integrator is able to design an individual background. He can combine the background with feedbacks, for example from lamps or here the temperature. And he can design an individual navigation system in order to show several rooms and the activities inside the room. And you see, we have very lot information on a very big screen, especially for small screens. We have the problem to see all the details, and for that reason we developed a smart visualization, and that is a very simple solution because we have a very simple tree navigation. So you come from the building to the room, and then you come inside the room to see the functions and events. And the important point here is that this visualization has an auto-scaling mechanism. So independent from the display, you see the best format on the screen, and this is also working if you have the horizontal or vertical orientation of your smartphone, for example. And for bigger screens, we have the problem that the smart visualization is maybe from the design side not the best one, but the graphical is maybe too big, and for that reason we have a third visualization. That is our tablet visualization, and here we can combine the full graphical visualization together with the smart visualization. That means we have a very simple programming of these features in combination with individual backgrounds.
That's very interesting because a lot of integrators don't want to lose time designing a lot of things. So you can use a nice background image, for instance, and then use the smart visualization, which is then automatically created in the tablet visualization. So you don't need to create two different visualizations. You only need to create the smart visualization.
And then you combine it with existing web pages and whatever.
Yes, that's very nice, and then it looks also very nice. That's what the end customer wants to see, something which looks nice, but the integrator doesn't want to waste time creating this visualization.
And the big advantage is all is placed in one device. And the important point is every visualization is located in one device. That means it is not necessary to have 3 or 4 applications, or everything is available in one. But that is actually not enough. Nowadays we are faced to a lot of new technologies. Everybody will talk with Alexa or with Google Home, and this is also possible. We implemented an interface so that it's very easy to use Alexa in combination with your KNX system. And in the same way we are able to control the audio system, or we can control third-party systems like Philips Hue.
Okay, very good. So a lot of new things I see you have here in the home control center, and also the scene module, which is also easy to configure for the end customer even.
Yes, that is one wish from our customers. So on the one hand side, the integrator implements the scene, but after some times it is not the nicest one for the end user. And now we are able to have an online feature. No? So we can open the scene online, and with this editor function, we can configure it online. Yeah, for example, from the end customer, and in this application we can start a scene, stop a scene, so that that the end user has full control on the scene module.
So the end user can then even add different functions, remove them, change the on/off, change the times. Very, very interesting.
But of course, a standard visualization. Nowadays, the standard visualization must also provide scene control, time schedulers, logic functions, email service, alarm events, and so on. And all these features are also available in this small device.
Very good. Very interesting device.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, here we are on a very interesting stand. I'm sure it's one of your highlights. Please tell us a little bit more about this one.
Yes. What we present here on this panel is our Dali technology. And many years ago, I think 15 years ago, we started with the development of Dali interfaces. And on this panel, you see our latest developments. This is our Dali Control GC16, which is well prepared for the new data point types, DT8, which are very important in the field of Dali, because this data format is the rule for color control, RGB, RGBW, tunable white. And this is another definition of color, but with more detailed information. And with this device, we are able to control such light of RGB or tunable white. And in some cases, it is necessary to increase the possibilities. Instead of 16 groups, maybe I have to control 18 groups, and one is not enough, two is too much. And for that reason, we developed this device. This is our Dali Control GC62. Now, this is actually two devices in one. This is 2 times the GC16 in this version.
So you have got 16 Dali groups, which you can. How exactly does it work?
So with this device, with the GC16, we are able to control 64 ballasts in 16 groups. And in this device, we have this double. So we can control 32 groups and at least 128 ECGs.
Wow. So you've got the double amount. It's 2 Dali buses which you can control.
In one device, yes.
In one device.
All with this new data format, DT8.
That's very impressive. Very impressive. So in the Dali E64, the difference between the E64, for instance, and the GC16, what is that?
The difference is that, by the way, we can control 16 groups and we are able to control single ECGs. So often it is so that you have only one lamp in the restroom or whatever, and that is too much for one group. And in this case, we can split the 64 ECGs, for example, 30 ECGs in 16 groups, and the rest we can control in the single way. So that is not necessary to handle a group. And that allows us to increase the functionality on the Dali side.
Very interesting. So devices for every need.
Yes, and that is also, every need is a good point, because this E64 has also an IP interface, which allows us to send data, for example, to our visualization system, Combat Studio Evolution, in order to get test results from emergency lights, battery, lamp function, and so on. And in order to have, we have the information about the Dali system in a very short time. So instead of programming all the groups and so on, we are only configuring the IP address, and immediately we have all these Dali properties available in the visualization.
That's very, very important, because integrators' time is money, and
Yes.
and if you can have everything taken out of the gateway with the communication, that's very, very good. So the Compress 2 Evolution then communicates with the socket communication with the device.
Yes.
Reads out all of this data,
And you also can send.
And you can also send, so you don't need to configure it twice. You just configure it once in the Dali side, read out all of this information.
That's
you
right.
already have all the information in the visualization software.
That's right, and that makes the Dali Control E64 really to a part of a light management system.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but maybe I can focus you on one device. This is a special development for a tunable switchboard, and we think this is a very good solution in order to control the color. On the one hand side, we can have a very simple switch on and off in order to switch on and off a light. And if the lamp is on, we can change easily the intention, or if we press a longer time, we can easily change the color. So I think that is a very good solution in order to have this new data formats available on a very simple standard switch.
That's very nice. I think that's one of the first ones I saw which has this functionality.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks a lot. That was a really, really interesting presentation of all the panels and of what the company IPAS does. I'm very impressed. I hope you have a very successful light and building, and thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Erasmus, many thanks for your time, and also many thanks for your interest in our products. And I'm really happy that with this introduction we are able to bring out all this information in the world, depending on your effort with IPAS products. Many thanks.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.